Japan's allure as a travel destination is undeniable, with its rich culture, stunning landscapes, and unique experiences. But as tourism numbers soar, so do the tensions between visitors and locals. In today's video, we'll explore the top frustrations foreign tourists face in Japan and what behaviors are causing concern among Japanese residents. Japan's tourism landscape has experienced dramatic shifts over the past few years. In 2019, the country welcomed a record-breaking 31.9 million foreign visitors. However, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 led to a sharp decline, with arrivals plummeting to just 4.1 million, and further dropping to approximately 240,000 in 2021. As travel restrictions eased, 2022 saw a modest recovery with about 3.8 million visitors. The rebound accelerated in 2023, reaching around 25 million tourists. Remarkably, 2024 marked a new milestone, with Japan hosting approximately 36.9 million foreign visitors, surpassing pre-pandemic levels and setting a new record. With such numbers of inbound tourists, it's no wonder that some problems directly relating to them are becoming more than apparent. Let's break down the top issues tourists are experiencing. Overtourism. In 2024, over 30% of foreign tourists reported issues related to overcrowding, especially in hotspots like Kyoto and Mount Fuji. Long lines, packed transportation, and overwhelmed local facilities can make it difficult to enjoy these iconic destinations. It's really gotten to the point that I personally won't visit the city of Kyoto anymore, as things are too crowded, hotels are too expensive, and in many tourist attractions you don't even hear Japanese spoken at all. That being said, the rest of the prefecture is fine, with many beautiful and historic attractions to see. Lack of trash cans. Many tourists are surprised by how few trash bins exist in public areas. This ostensibly stems from security concerns dating back to the 1995 Tokyo sarin gas subway attack, though city governments, for whatever reason, have not reintroduced trash bins. Tourists often struggle with holding on to trash throughout the day, which can be frustrating and lead to accidental littering. Travel tip. Always bring small garbage bags with you on your excursions. If you can't find any convenient trash bins, temporarily keep your garbage until you reach your train station. You should be able to throw anything away at trash bins in train stations, or worst case scenario, back at your hotel. Language barriers. Although Japan has improved multilingual signage in cities, many rural areas and local businesses still lack English language support. This can make it difficult for tourists to navigate, ask for help, or fully understand the culture they're engaging in. Some restaurants have even put up signs refusing entry to foreign tourists. In most cases, this is not because they are racist. It's more the fact that they cannot communicate well and want to avoid any confrontations and upsetting or misunderstood situations. Travel tip. Practice using a translation software on your smartphone. They are becoming more advanced every day and can be quite useful if you are efficient and quick with them. Complex transportation systems. Japan's train system is extensive and highly efficient, but it can be incredibly confusing for newcomers. Differentiating between JR, private lines, subways, and local buses often overwhelm first-time visitors. Travel tip. Do a bit of planning before you head out on your daily trips. Research how to get to different locations on your phone and save the directions. While they most likely won't speak English, staff at entrance windows of each station should be able to help you if you can convey where you want to go. Ask for train lines and platform numbers for the trains you need to take. Likewise, if you are traveling by JR ticket windows usually have some level of English available. And, when in doubt, always look for information kiosks, especially at larger stations. They should have foreign language speakers to help you with your travel questions. Cultural norms and etiquette. Simple customs like removing shoes indoors, not talking loudly in public, or proper behavior at shrines can be confusing or overlooked. Tourists trying to be respectful sometimes find themselves anxious about making cultural mistakes. You don't need to go to extremes. Local people do talk on trains, for example. Just keep your volume down and be respectful and polite in all situations, and you should be fine. About actual cultural practices at tourist locations, take a minute to look around and see how Japanese people are acting. Follow their lead, and you'll be fine. While tourists face their share of difficulties, Japanese locals are also increasingly vocal about their concern with incoming tourists as well. Disrespecting public spaces. Locals have reported cases of tourists trespassing onto private property for photos, climbing sacred sites, and even damaging historical landmarks. These actions not only show a lack of awareness, but also a lack of respect. As before, be polite and respectful with your actions, and you should be fine. Poor public etiquette. Talking loudly on trains, eating while walking in non-designated areas, and not following smoking rules are among the most common grievances. In a culture that values quiet and order, these behaviors stand out sharply. Again, the extremes are what causes the problems. But some things, like following smoking rules, should be followed at all times. Overcrowding in daily life. Tourists crowding local transport, convenience stores, and public baths can create real stress for residents going about their regular days. In places like Kamakura or Arashiyama, locals have even begun avoiding certain areas during peak seasons. Not to mention that super overcrowded spots can reduce your enjoyment of Japan as well. I always suggest doing some research and plan to visit locations outside of the regular tourist traps of Kyoto and Mt. Fuji. Do you want to see temples and shrines? Unless you're an absolute stickler for Japanese history, there are beautiful temples and shrines almost everywhere you go in Japan. Off-the-beaten-track locations often make, in my opinion, a much more enjoyable and authentic version. Japanese governments at all levels are discussing ways to alleviate these problems. For example, there are constant discussions about dual pricing systems, expanded tourist education, and even caps on visitors in certain areas to mitigate these issues. Some cities and famous attractions have imposed separate pricing for tourists, and this practice is expanding day by day. Addressing these challenges requires effort from both tourists and hosts alike. For tourists, do some cultural research before visiting, be mindful of public behavior, and consider some off-the-beaten-path destinations to reduce the load on major sites. For locals and authorities, continued investment in multilingual support, community-based tourism initiatives, and public awareness campaigns can go a long way to help. Mutual respect and curiosity can bridge the cultural divide and ensure Japan remains a destination that is not only visited, but truly appreciated. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on Japanese culture and travel. Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. What challenges have you faced, and how do you think we can promote responsible tourism in Japan?
Yo!